Hey, what's up, everybody? True Boxing here. Thank you for coming back to get hit with the truth. So today, coming out with the recap from the Showtime triple header that took place on Saturday, May 29th, and it featured Donaire challenging for a title at 38 years old against Nordine Ouubali, who was 34 but undefeated. He was 18-0 coming in. And, we didn't know what to expect out of Donaire. And, actually, you know what? I'm sorry. Let's get to Donaire at the end of this. We're going to start with the undercard. I apologize. We saw undefeated Gary Antoine Russell, who is the undefeated, younger but bigger brother than Gary Russell Jr., the featherweight champion of the world. He's 14-0, 14 knockouts. And he was taking on his toughest competition to date, Jovian Santiago, who just fought Adrian Broner in February and fought him to I believe it was a decision loss, in a fight that a lot of people felt he won. So heading in against Russell, people wanted to see if this guy was the real deal or not. And they also wanted to see how good Russell was stepping up his competition. Well, he's 14-0, 14 knockouts. I mean, he was 13-0 with 13 knockouts, and now he's 14-0 with 14 knockouts. He battered Santiago from start to finish, dominated him. He's a 140-pounder junior welterweight. Dominated him, picked him apart, put him down in the 4th round, and then finished him off and stopped him in the 6th round. The corner stopped the fight, and that is the end of Jovian Santiago. A lot of people are saying, this means Broner's not that great. Well, I didn't think Broner was that great to begin with. But Russell doesn't put him in the top 10, but it makes us continue to look at him and see his progression and how he's moving up. He says he wants Broner next. I doubt he gets it, but all that being said, nice win for him on a Showtime triple header and an undercard. So very good win. Next up, we had a 140-pound title eliminator as the co-feature. You had Sudriel Matias taking on Jukanbayev was the guy's name. He is a fighter from Kazakhstan, where Triple G is. He was, I believe he was 18-0 with 14 knockouts. Matias was a guy that suffered a surprise loss last year out of nowhere, but he was 16-1 with 16 knockouts. So we were going to see how good both guys really were in this eliminator, and Matias put it on Jukanbayev. I picked Jukanbayev just because he is a Kazakh fighter, and he hadn't suffered a loss yet, and I really didn't know much about either one of them. Neither one of them had a strong resume to speak of, but since Matias had lost to a nobody, I thought Jukanbayev would beat him. Well, Matias proved me wrong. He proved that was just a blip on the radar, and he dominated the action. Jukanbayev fought hard and tried, and it was a good action fight, but Matias was just better, stopped him, and I believe it was in the 8th round, and puts himself at 17-1, 17 knockouts, and he should be fighting for the IBF title at some point. Now, Josh Taylor's a champion. This does not put Matias in the top 10, so I'm going to go over his real quick, what he's probably going to be doing. I wouldn't be surprised to see him in an interim title fight next, and then upgraded to full champion, or him waiting around to fight for the vacant title. Josh Taylor is not going to hold on to that belt and fight Matias. Matias is not a big name, and he's not really anybody worth the note. Josh Taylor's going to be looking for big names now, and I don't see him and Matias locking horns. So Matias, though, he's probably going to be fighting for a world title and have an opportunity to become a champion at 140. So big win here, kind of a quiet win, but it's going to earn him a title shot. So congrats to him. Now the main event. Excuse me one second. Nonito, the Filipino Flash, Donaire, taking on Nordine Ouubali. WBC Bantamweight Championship at 118 on the line. Donaire coming in, we weren't sure what we were going to see. We weren't sure if Donaire, if he just got overlooked and got lucky in the World Boxing Super Series, because Donaire lost to Carl Frampton at 126 back in 2018 and decided he wanted to move down not one but 2 weight classes all the way down to 118. And a lot of people felt that was a mistake, even though that was where he was more dominant as a fighter. But to come back down at his age and fight there, a lot of people were like, yeah, whatever. Well, he joined the World Boxing Super Series. I believe the Super Series picked him basically for name recognition. I don't think the Super Series was expecting much from him. First round, he got by the McDonald brother when he got injured, and had to pull out of the fight, pull out of the fight in the 5th round. Then he ended up not having to fight an undefeated champion in the semifinal because the guy got hurt and he fought a replacement opponent and knocked him out. No surprise, and got himself into the finals where he took on the monster, Naoya Inoue, who was destroying fighters and destroyed his first 2 opponents and fought a total of about 2.5 rounds in the quarterfinal and the semifinal. So a lot of people thought he was going to destroy Donaire, but that was the problem. I think people were people thought that Inoue was overlooking Donaire because Donaire ended up going the distance. He ended up hurting the monster late in the fight, and it was a fight of the year candidate right there. But the monster walked away with a unanimous decision, but Donaire had proven himself. We had not fought since then. And a lot of people want to see, is Donaire, was it just a flash in the pan, a last hurrah fighting in the World Boxing Super Series, or was he legitimate and could he become world champion again? Well, he became the oldest bantamweight world champion at 38 years old with a dominating 4th round TKO victory over Ouubali. He pretty much dominated him from start to finish, put him down in the 2nd, put him down again at the end of the 3rd, and then in the 4th round, his signature left hook that got him to the party all those years ago against Vic Darchinyan when he knocked his ass out. It was beautiful. He put him in his place and stopped this guy in the 4th round, and is now the WBC Bantamweight World Champion. And I am praying that this leads to a rematch, and a unification bout with the monster, Naoya Inoue. Inoue's gotta leave no doubt, and Nonito Donaire is a big name. Inoue would be crazy for him and Bob Arum to not work it out with the PBC and make this fight happen. It's the fight everybody wants. It's a rematch. They gotta do it. So I don't usually discuss the bantamweights. I usually don't cover that division, but the bantamweights have gotten very good, and I might end up following it, but just in case I don't do a what's next on Donaire, because I don't technically follow this division as one of my top 10s like I do 122 to heavyweight. This was a big win. Congratulations to Donaire on becoming a 38-year-old former world champion. He's one of my favorite fighters. He's a future Hall of Famer, and he just keeps proving why he is the man. And at 38 years old, for him to drop 2 weight classes and really be at the top of the weight classes at 38, it's just fucking impressive. And I'm very happy for Nonito Donaire. So we'll see what happens, but that's it. That's the recap of the Showtime triple header that saw Nonito Donaire capture a title again. Hope you guys enjoyed it. True Boxing, you've been hit with the truth.